Hey guys, my name is Justin Tudor, and in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the newest installment to Mercuriall amp box, the dual Rectofire. So admittedly, when it comes to high gain guitar tones, I typically gravitate towards PV style amps, and with that being said, I don't have a ton of experience with Mesa Boogie dual Rectifiers. However, whenever I saw that Mercuriall just dropped this new amp sim, I knew I had to check it out. Let me say that Mercuriall is not paying me for this video, so any thoughts and opinions I have about the amp sim are mine. If you are like me and you're not super studied up on the Mesa Boogie dual Rectifier, then some of the switches and mods on this amp may throw you off a bit, but we're going to go over those in the video, and I want to do a quick overview of those before we hop into the amp sim and take a look at some sounds. First off, with the introduction of this new amp sim, Mercuriall is also introducing a new IR section that has some new exclusive impulse responses from Max Morton at Morton Studios. This is a 2-channel version of the Mesa Boogie dual Rectifier. It has the normal red channel and an orange channel. The orange channel can clean up relatively well, and it can also sound pretty much just as high gain as the red channel. The red channel is pretty much exclusively for some really mean heavy metal tones. Each channel has its own different style switches for the power amp. The orange channel has the normal and the modern style, and the red channel has the normal and the vintage style. There is a switch on the amp sim that allows you to switch between tubes and diodes or the rectifier, and from what I can tell, that pretty much just changes the way the presence knob reacts on each channel. This next thing is way too complicated for me to explain, but there is a 1 meg mod switch that apparently is a pretty popular mod for Mesa dual rectifiers. From what I can tell and what I've seen online, this pretty much just makes it higher gain, a bit tighter, and more mid forward, so sounds good to me. So right now I want to go ahead and hop into amp box and take a closer look at the features and the tones we can get out of this thing. However, later in the video I'm going to see what it sounds like in the context of a full mix, so be sure to stick around for that. Okay, so here I am in amp box, and this is how it opens up, just completely default. So it obviously opens up on the red channel. Let's go ahead and we'll just see what it sounds like when we switch over to the orange channel, and it's got our high gain mode on. So those are the 2 channels that you're working around. This is a part of an amp box, like I said earlier, so you have access to all the different amp box modules, the gate, graphic EQ, overdrives, distortion, etc. Here we are on channel 2 with the tube screamer. So I'm going to work left to right, and we will take a look first at this diode, tube, and rectifier switch. So here we are on the diode and tube setting. Let's go ahead and switch to rectifier. I personally prefer the tube switch myself. Alright, so let's take a look at the normal switch and vintage switch. We're on normal right now. Let's go ahead and see what it sounds like on the vintage. Now we're on normal. We're going to move forward on normal. I prefer that. The vintage, I guess, does sound, vintage. It sounds kind of old. Could definitely work around that though. That sounds great. So we have master, and then you have presence, bass, mid, and treble. Those all work exactly like you think they would. It does sound pretty bass heavy, so I'm going to turn that down just a little. That sounds pretty good just right at noon, basically. You just got the presence up a little bit and the bass down a hair. Okay, let's see what this Meg 1 mod is all about. I'm gonna do some chugs with and without. Definitely higher gain. Let's turn that mod switch on and turn the gain down just a hair. I'm a big fan of that mod switch right there. Okay, so that is the channel 2 red channel of the dual rectifier. We'll do channel 1, and then we'll take a look at that cap section I was talking about earlier. This is channel 1. Let's see what the clean sounds like quickly.
So
So granted, I am using Fishman Fluence pickups, so they're pretty high output humbuckers. But you know, if you were hitting that with like the Jazzmaster or a single coil, that would be pretty much like a normal kind of American clean sound, I think. Alright, so we will go to our high gain channel now. We'll go left to right again. We'll take a look at the tubes and rectifier switch. We're on tubes. Now we're on rectifier. Still prefer the tubes, but it's a little closer on this channel than it was on the channel 2. Let's see what our modern style sounds like on the channel 1, where again we're on high gain mode, modern style on channel 1. Yeah, we're totally getting into channel 2 territory at this point. Like, I feel like when I turn this mod switch on, we're just immediately going to be in channel 2. That sounds awesome. So yeah, really channel 1 can go anywhere from like American clean sounds to just slightly overdriven all the way up to high gain metal tones, whereas channel 2 is just pretty much going to be on your high gain metal tones. We'll go back to channel 2 and take a look at the new impulse responses from Max Morton and see what that looks like. Alright, so let's open up our cabinet section. In times past, this is all you've had as far as the cabinets go. You just pick a cabinet and then you've had the 2 microphones, but now that you have this IR section, and that's going to be these different impulse responses from Max Morton. Looks like we got Friedman, Engel, Marshall, Soldano, Mesa Boogie. So yeah, this is pretty sweet. I kind of want to see what these Soldano ones sound like. Oh heck yeah. So definitely, if you own Antbox or decide to pick up Antbox after this video or another video that you see, definitely go over to the IR section and take a look at these impulse responses from Max Morton. Okay, so at this point, we've taken a look at the ins and the outs of the dual Rectofire from Mercuriall. Let's go ahead and see what it sounds like in the context of a full mix. So if you made it this far into the video, thank you very much for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Antbox from Mercuriall is quickly becoming one of my favorite hubs for amp sims, and if you haven't picked it up yet, now would be a great time with their new inclusion of the dual Rectofire. Again, if you enjoyed today's video, please do hit that like button as well as the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video.